soon, around about perhaps 5 to the hour, so we'll have more details from the Met, but that's coming up in the next little while, so more details from the Metropolitan Police. We've also here at the BBC had some pictures from a tourist that have been released, filmed from that area around Parliament. Let's just see these pictures, this amateur footage that has come in recently.
Yes, this is what's gonna happen. Everyone panic.
Police was trying to get them running down there.
Attack is shot by police.
So that footage filmed, we are told, by a Taiwanese tourist who was clearly right there by the Houses of Parliament at the time of that incident a few hours ago now in Westminster, and the sense of panic, people running that you saw at the start of that footage, that gives you a sense of the panic at the time, and it is really hard to overstate just what an incredibly crowded part of the capital it is. That whole area around the Palace of Westminster, the Commons, the Lords, that whole area is always thronged with tourists in particular. A lot of people working there, of course, Monday to Friday, but 7 days a week that area is so. From the Metropolitan Police, perhaps in the next 15 minutes or so, but the Met has been updating journalists fairly regularly over the last few hours as to their understanding of the incident. Let's just hear a little bit that we've heard in the last hour from Commander B.J. Harrington from London's Metropolitan Police. This is the statement he gave to journalists outside Scotland Yard.
Since 2:40 this afternoon, the MPS has responded to an incident in the area of Parliament Square, and the Senior National Coordinator has declared this a terrorist incident. And although we remain open-minded to the motive, a full counter-terrorism investigation is already underway. This is led by the Met's Counter-Terrorism Command. At this stage, I will confirm what we know has happened, but I will not speculate. We received a number of different reports, which included a person in the river, a car in collision with pedestrians, and a man armed with a knife. Officers were already in that location as part of routine policing, but immediately additional officers were sent to the scene, and that included firearms officers. Part of routine policing, but immediately additional officers were sent to the scene, and that included firearms officers. We are working closely with the London Ambulance Service and the London Fire Brigade. I'd like to repeat our request for the public to avoid the following areas: Parliament Square, Whitehall, Westminster Bridge, Lambeth Bridge, Victoria Street up to the junction with Broadway, and the Victoria Embankment up to Embankment Tube Station. This is to allow emergency services to deal with this ongoing incident. There is an ongoing investigation being led by the Counter-Terrorism Command, and we would ask anybody who has images or film of the incident to pass those to the police officers. We are working closely with the London Ambulance Service and the London Fire Brigade. I'd like to repeat our request for the public to avoid the following areas: Parliament Square, Whitehall, Westminster Bridge, Lambeth Bridge, Victoria Street up to the junction with Broadway, and the Victoria Embankment up to Embankment Tube Station. This is to allow emergency services to deal with this ongoing incident. There is an ongoing investigation being led by the Counter-Terrorism Command, and we would ask anybody who has images or film of the incident to pass those to the police. We know there are a number of casualties, including police officers, but at this stage we cannot confirm numbers or the nature of these injuries. Our response will be ongoing for some time, and it is important that we gather all possible information and evidence. Public safety is our top priority, and we are reviewing our policing stance across London and throughout the capital this afternoon. There will be additional officers on duty and deployed across the capital. I would like to ask the public to remain vigilant and let us know if they see anything suspicious that causes them concern, and if they do, to dial 999 immediately. The Acting Commissioner, Craig Mackey, is being treated as a significant witness, as he was at the scene when the incident started. Whilst he is not